the dangers of insufficient sleep on your weight loss and how it impacts like your best efforts. And basically at night, you're sabotaging all your day's efforts. I want to talk about brain changes and how it impacts, lack of sleep impacts different areas of your brain in terms of impulse control and also in terms of the way that you really you want more pleasurable, higher carb, unhealthy type things.
We just got our blood work done.
Yeah, we did.
And our doctors asked us, what are we doing to have such great blood work?
Yeah. And you know what we told them?
ProCare!
Oh my goodness. Yeah, we told them, like, yeah, we take ProCare every day because they have a multivitamin that you can just take one a day.
Yes, exactly. They have a capsule and a chewable form. And not only do they have vitamins, but they also have calcium chews.
Oh my God, they're so good.
They're so delicious. It's like our own little sweet treat for the end of the night.
It really is because they have the dark chocolate and they have the cinnamon roll.
Yes, and I love the salted caramel and the dinner mint.
Alrighty, we'll go to procarenow.com
and use code OSLP at checkout to save some money. You guys ask us all the time, what is our favorite protein powder?
Yeah, literally, we see this question every day.
And the answer is always
Devotion! Yeah. Oh my goodness. I even use it this morning to make my own sweet treat for nighttime because it's just a brownie batter pudding. And you literally just use 1 scoop and then milk or water.
And then I use it every morning in my Proffee. It's so delicious. Oh my God. I want one right now thinking of it.
Seriously, it's 20 grams of protein. So go get yours now at devotionnutrition.com.
And use code OSLP to save some money. Okay, trying to figure out portion sizes after weight loss surgery is fucking hard.
So hard. So freaking hard.
So we found this company and they take the guesswork out of it.
Yeah, my goodness, guys. Look, it's portion perfection. They have bowls and plates and they have all sorts of organizing things on their website. I can't wait to get more. But it literally tells you 1 cup, 1.5 cup, 1/4 of a cup. Like the guesswork is completely gone.
Yes. And the plate, even better. Protein, salad, veggies, whatever. And then this little section, carbs. So, because you can have carbs.
You can have carbs.
We are so excited and we cannot wait to see what you guys think of this. This is definitely OSLP approved.
100%. So the link is down below. So click that link, get your discount and start getting your portions correctly now. We have found something very, very extraordinary and it's different.
It is one of a kind.
Mm-hmm.
It is NewTri Health.
Yes.
And they are giving you the next level information on your weight loss surgery journey.
They really are because they fill you with all this information about exercise and food. You watch a little clip, 1.5 minutes at the most, and then you do a little fact checks and then you do an article and then you do a quiz one time.
One time. And so you get to track your progress. And not only do they have these quizzes, but they have a place that you can log your food, your exercise, and your weight.
Yeah. And they're not tracking calories, guys. They're tracking your mood. Like, how did you feel yesterday about your food? Did you exercise? So it's a way for you to journal without journaling.
Yes. So go to NewTriHealth.com, choose our Sleep Life podcast as your provider, and sign up to maximize your weight loss surgery journey.
Yeah. So go now. Well, thanks to this lady over here, I know that hot tea is so much better after surgery. Oh my goodness.
Yes, it makes the liquids go down so much easier.
So much smoother.
And we are so excited that we found this badass woman-owned tea company.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
So exciting. Their tagline is actually, we fucking love tea.
Yes.
And what better describes us?
Seriously, everything's organic. Like they're all loose leaf. And this one is called literally You're Fucking Awesome.
Yes.
And the back of it says fucking directions. So this is our kind of people. They talk like us, they act like us, and we fucking love tea.
Yes. And this one is rad as fuck. And it actually says, shine your light bright, Mel. They make sure that it is personalized to you when you order.
Yeah.
Be bold, be bright, be badass. You are so fucking rad. You light up this world.
How cool.
How could you not want to drink this tea?
Seriously.
It's so fun.
And they have a straw for your drink. Pretty wicked because it's loose leaf, but the straw does not make any of the leaves come up.
Exactly. And we have been nonstop drinking this tea since we got it.
Yes.
So we need you guys to go over and go to their website, modestmix.com.
That's right.
And order your tea. don't forget to use our code oursleevedlife20 to get a percentage off.
That's right. Go now. Welcome back, OSLP family. Welcome.
That was on point.
You did it. You did it. No squeakiness today.
No, there was none.
There wasn't.
You are listening to Our Sleeve Life podcast, and this is Kelly.
This is Mel.
And you guys,
you know what she's going to say.
I don't even.
Because she goes, and the award show.
Big freaking party being planned right now. And voting actually started yesterday.
It did.
When you were listening to this, it'll probably be later on, but it is absolutely insane.
Yes.
How many votes we've gotten so far.
It's ridiculous. So it's the Just Be You Bariatric Award Show.
Yes.
Voting started August 1st. It's open for 2 months. So you can't say you didn't have time to get your vote in. We put plenty of time in here.
Yes.
Because we want everybody involved, everybody doing it.
Exactly.
And literally within hours, we're like, oh my God, this is insane.
Yes.
Like we're already over thousands vote now.
Thousands of
It's
votes
only been
already.
open for 24 hours.
Yes, we just hit about 24 hours since we posted it.
So it's nuts.
It is crazy, absolutely crazy how many votes we've gotten. The people that are up for the top 4 are just incredible people within our community. And that is why we decided to do this is because we want to highlight all of the incredible journeys that are there, the people that work diligently to break the stigma, because we're all working towards the same goal.
Right. And we're trying to tell those people like, hey, we're here. We're not going anywhere. And we're not bad. We're not dying over here. We're not regaining like crazy.
No.
Like we have a lot of successful stories.
We do.
I'm really tired of the whole like, well, my cousin Bob, his friend got surgery and gained all the weight back. And it's like, how about your friend Kelly didn't?
Yes.
You know, like I want to hear those stories.
Let's talk about the good side.
Yeah.
So we are going to be putting on one of the world's biggest bariatric parties.
Yes.
And we are going to be doing it in Portland, Oregon, November 12th. Tickets are on sale right now. It is in person. We are going to be giving out the trophies live.
Yes.
And we have all these amazing presenters coming in, and they're giving out the awards.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And it is just, we have so many fun things lined up, so many fun people lined up, and we want you to be there, whether you are a support person, maintaining, pre-op, post-op, just thinking about it.
And if you can't talk, that's fine
and
too.
Because
Kelly,
talk, just come on in because you'll join me.
But you're going to be on the pink carpet. So like, it's definitely our style. You're going to get swag bags that are like literally like me and Kelly.
We just picked them ourselves.
That's right. We got pink carpet. You're going to walk down. It's 6 feet long.
16 feet.
Yeah, 16 feet. Sorry, long.
Yes.
And we're having professional photos done. So you can go and have those afterwards.
Correct.
So,
and then not only do you get to do the award show, but there's an after party where you get to meet everybody who is coming and you get to mingle and have a couple drinks.
That's right.
And you get to
and you don't even have to leave the venue. It's all there.
It's all right there.
Yeah.
And this venue is it's outstanding.
It's beautiful.
I saw it for the first time.
I know.
We did our photos, and it is out of this world cool.
I know. It's the Aladdin Theater. It's a historic theater in Portland, Oregon.
Yes. So go over to Our Sleeve Life podcast. First of all, while you're there, you need to vote. And then you need to click buy your tickets. Then you need to book your hotel. It's all on the same page. And while you're there, sign up for our newsletter because we have some very, very special things that should be live by the time you hear this.
Yeah, maybe a free ebook or something.
Maybe. Something like that. That's in the works.
That's right.
And then we also have merch on there. And while you're on your phone or your computer or your tablet, you need to go over to patreon.com/OSLP.
Yep.
And you need to sign up to be a patron.
Yes.
Because we have some fun behind the scenes things. We talk to people on there all the time.
We do.
And we have
every day.
Great support group over
there.
It's
called the Benchies.
It's called the Benchies. And it's on Facebook. And I know that most of them are toxic. I know what you're thinking. But this is not that. This is positive. This is rewarding. You get to meet people. We've actually had multiple people meet their very besties through here.
I know. It's so cool.
It is out. It's just great. It's a great place to be.
Yeah.
So, and I forgot to thank our sponsors for the show.
So yeah, Kelly, what the hell?
I know.
I don't know. We have several sponsors here that are putting this on or helping us put this on. And our top one is ProCare.
ProCare Health is the only vitamin we use.
Yes.
The only vitamin. And we have great labs every single time. They have amazing multivitamins. You can do the capsules or the chews.
Yep.
And or the chewables.
The chewables.
And they even have gummies now. So there's lots of options for people. Plus they have calcium chews that taste great. They're like a dessert at the end of the night.
S'mores, we've made s'mores out of them.
Yes, we have.
They're delicious.
Yes. Our second sponsor is, of course, Jamie, the sleeve dietitian, the Tribe membership. We have partnered with her for few months now.
Yeah.
And we absolutely love her membership program. Mm-hmm. You can go in and join support groups almost every single day.
She has a different one.
Yes.
And all these are led by experts in their field that had bariatric surgery.
Yes.
So they literally know what you're going through. Mm-hmm. So it's really nice to go hop in, and you don't have to say anything. You can just keep your screen on black.
Yeah, you don't even have to turn. I was just going to say that. You don't even have to turn your video on. Mm-mm. You can purely just sit and listen. And it always lifts my mood and makes me more present in my journey just by being there.
Yes.
So thank you, Jamie, for sponsoring. We appreciate it.
I know. And one of my favorites and one of our newest sponsor is my own surgeon.
Yes.
So Dr. Patterson and our organ weight loss surgery program, they are sponsoring us. I'm so excited. Yes. And she's going to be a presenter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which should be announced by the time you hear this because Mel jumped the gun on that one.
Did.
And then our next one is Miss Michaela Miller, Losing to Blooming. She is a life coach.
Yeah, she is.
And we have done several episodes with her.
And she's taught us a lot of stuff.
She has. Mm-hmm. And her episode was the one to push me to go into therapy.
Yeah. And got us going back to the gym.
It did.
Michaela got us to do that. Yeah.
Thank you, Michaela. And if you do not know her, go and follow her right now.
That's right.
All of these sponsors.
All of them.
Just go and do it right now. Yes. The next sponsor is Mr. Dr. Eric Smith. Georgetown Surgical is sponsoring, and Dr. Eric is a lovely, lovely person.
Yes, he is. And he's from the 1,000-Pound Sisters on TLC.
Yes.
And he's just a great, genuine guy that has knowledge is insane. Because he's done every surgery there is. He's opened them up. He's done laparoscopic and he's done robotic. Yeah. How cool.
It's very cool.
Very cool.
And we've met him in person, and his accent
gets
me every time.
Every time.
And he's going to be presenting also. So pretty much every sponsor is presenting. So that's cool.
It is cool. Because the next one is Dr. Joe Cribbins.
Yes.
And Marty and Heather and them. Yes. Oh my God. I can't wait to see Marty's little butt on the pink carpet.
Yes. As Sammy says, the toast butt.
Cute. The toast butt. I
love it.
Yes.
I love it. So they will be there. Also, another sponsor is the Surgical Associates of Bayonet Point.
Yes.
They're in Florida.
They are.
And we have spoken with them. Spoke with them.
Both can work depending on how you use it. Yeah.
Okay, we'll just go with it. And their after program is great.
Yeah, because they do body composition.
Yes.
And then try not to focus on the scale, which I was like, ooh, that's a cool new way of doing this.
And incorporating exercise because a lot of places don't. And that's one of the key points, which we will talk about in a second, of the pillars
that is coming your way.
Surgery.
Yeah.
Yes. And then the last but not least.
Nope, we have two left. The Real Berry Bodies. Yeah, the Real Berry Boss and Own Bariatrics.
Okay, so just to justify myself, I did not sleep last night.
Which is just quite hilarious of what we're going to talk about today.
Yes.
Yes.
So we have Nolani, which is Own Bariatrics. She is a transformation coach. She is also a very, very lovely person.
She is.
And she will be presenting and attending the show.
And then the Real Berry Boss, Tabitha, she's a bariatric therapist.
We love her.
So if you can tell, there's a theme here. They're kind of every part of a journey is sponsoring.
Yes.
So you have the dietitian, you have your vitamins, you have your therapist, you have your surgeons.
You have your support system.
We're all here together just to do this. Yes. So that's what I love about this.
And every single sponsor that we have, we absolutely adore them as a person and within this
community. Yeah.
And this community. Yeah. So,
only thing left is YouTube.
YouTube.
It's on your phone. Click the button. Just type in our name. Hit the bell and subscribe. Because if you are watching on YouTube, you know that we have a beautiful and wonderful lady that has been sitting here this whole time while we are doing our spiel. And you guys love her. You know her.
You've asked her to come back.
Yes, you have. It is Miss Dr. Dovec.
Thank you. Finally.
She's back.
Hey, hearing all of that you guys are doing, I mean, I am not surprised to hear you don't sleep. That was going to be my question. And that is what we're talking about today is sleep. But no, it's very cool. I mean, I speak for, I'm sure, everybody. I am immensely impressed by the website, the Instagram page, the thought, the creativity, the pink carpet. I mean, the details matter and things like that. And I think I for one really hope that this is a massive success, and that is the start of an even bigger thing for our community. I think it's amazing. So
thank you.
Congratulations to you guys.
Thank you.
For all that you're doing. That is insanely good.
It
Thanks.
is a crazy, crazy daily thing in our
It was
lives.
my brainchild back in February. I came up with it.
Yes.
I messaged Kelly real quick so I didn't forget because that's what I do.
And then I rolled with it, and it was pretty much planned by the time she got back.
She's like, these are the things.
Amazing.
Yeah, this is what's happening.
I'm like, oh, cool.
Yes. No, it's a huge movement for this community, and a movement into the light.
Yeah.
To where everybody will know that we're here. And that's what we're going for.
And then it's okay to have surgery.
It's okay to have surgery. And like we learned from you, that 1% of people that get surgery every year, we're going to amp that up and get more and more and more.
Triple that, whatever, quadruple
I'm going
it.
to get it to like 99%.
I know, that'd be crazy.
Yes.
Okay.
I've got goals.
I better get operating. But no, I think that, I've had a lot of conversations with, for example, industry, like medical device companies, and they have, the strong arm of like Johnson & Johnson and Medtronic and Intuitive and the robotic makers and all of these really smart, also creative marketing type people. And I feel like they're all getting it wrong. And I do feel like it's going to be the patients that are the ones that get this to the next level. And so I think you're gonna have big time sponsors going forward when they see the resounding and undeniable success of, like you said, it's a movement. And I think it's so cool.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
We are doing it.
We are doing it. And what doesn't help us is if we don't get sleep.
Yeah, because which is funny because I have been up since midnight.
She literally has.
Because I can't sleep. So we're going to discuss all about sleep today.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about why it's important, how we can help get more sleep, and all of the things that go along with that, because it is a very under talked about topic.
It's very like underestimated, but it's like she's going to tell us it's one of the top things.
Yeah. So tell us what the pillars of bariatric surgery are.
So there's 4 pillars to health and well-being and weight loss and everything that goes towards yourself living really the life that you want. Everyone knows diet and exercise. So you have, like you were saying on the presenters at your Upcaring Just Be You award show, that there's always the dietitian aspect. What should I eat? When should I eat? How should I eat? Then, of course, exercise. Should I join a gym? Should I do a cardio, more fitness? Should I get a trainer? Then the mental health changes. And I think that that's another thing, like you just said, like you bravely admit that after talking to Michaela that you felt like you needed to see a therapist yourself, which I will attest that every human being should be seeing a therapist. It's just really important to get those things out and working on that mental aspect. And then we kind of stop there. And if you even made it to the third one, the mental health aspect, you're doing pretty good. We don't talk about sleep. And this is something that I realized when my patients are stuck on a plateau or they're gaining weight, you question them about sleep, you'll see that therein lies the problem potentially.
Okay.
So I have a ton of things to say, everything from how sleep impacts your brain to your hunger and appetite hormones to when you should eat and exactly what you should eat before bed and how that impacts you. I have a ton of things to say. But I want to start off and really make this personal, and everybody out there listening or watching, I would love for you to really reflect, like, how much honestly am I sleeping at night? And I have a sleep IQ bed, so I can tell you, like, my weekdays differ from my weekends. Do you see a difference? So Kel, let's start with you, Kelly. I would love to hear, like, last night, was that an outlier, or are we talking, you're not sleeping any nights here? What's going on?
I usually go 3 nights without sleep and then I crash.
Yeah.
So I'll have like very interrupted sleep for 3 nights. And then by the 4th night, my body's so tired that I actually sleep. Like for probably 7 hours.
7 hours? That's it.
Yeah. And that's on a crash night. On a normal night, it's like maybe 3 to 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy talk.
Mel, how about you?
Oh man, I love my sleep. So
she does.
I do get the only outlier is that since Eric was in the hospital for 6 weeks and all these things have happened, for 3 months, I did not get any good sleep. And literally my first real sleep was last week and it was full 7 hours and it was amazing. And I was like literally glowing that day because of the sleep, and I could tell. And then like, as of that day, I don't know what's happened between me and Eric, but like we're both actually sleeping through the night. So it's been almost a full week of this and I feel really good because I need 7 to 8. Like I can tell a huge difference if I get anything less. I'm cranky and scarfing stuff down too sometimes in the middle of the day. It's really weird. I don't like it.
Well, there's actually a lot of science I want to talk about with what you just said about like and how sleep deprivation really impacts what you eat or what you crave and your ability to resist some of those things.
Yeah.
Okay.
So starting off, I want to talk a little bit just about what is the definition of insufficient sleep.
Okay.
And there are a lot of, there's a variable, how much you might need versus what I might need. And so of course that's different, but they will define most people who are in this research. And again, I'm not a sleep specialist, but what I've read is that less than 6 hours a night is described as an insufficient amount of sleep.
Okay.
I feel personally attacked right now.
I'm sorry. Whenever I proposed like that we do this, I was like, oh my God, I know Kelly, she always talks about this and I don't want her to feel that way.
I want to scare her a little bit.
No, I need to hear this.
She does.
Okay. So are you ready? So here we go. So the first thing is about all of us, I think all human beings at some point are either actively or have been on a diet of some sort. Like you're watching what you eat. You're trying so hard. And we've had countless episodes. Most of you watching are either contemplating bariatric surgery or have had it. And you know that the diet that we recommend is one in which that it's a higher protein, lower carb, little to no added sugar diet. So that's like the 50,000 foot overview of it. So you can be doing that. And like, I'm like for 95% of the time, I am killing it. I'm doing great. Now, if you sleep less than 6 hours a night, that means your body is exhausted. It is tired and it needs energy. So you could try to do caffeine to keep yourself stimulated and that sort of thing. But your body's best source of energy and fuel is fat. That is the highest driver of energy that exists in your body.
Okay.
So your body will not let you lose fat to burn for energy because it needs that energy because you're not replenishing your energy levels when you're sleeping. So what happens is your body will start to actually take 70% of the energy burn is going to come from lean muscle. So exactly what you're trying to get your protein and feed and nourish and develop, because that helps with your metabolism and all of those things. You're sleeping less than 6 hours a night. Your body is going to burn all that hard work you do during the day. And then you're undoing all of the times you passed up on the cookie here, or the temptation there. You're undoing it when you don't sleep at night.
Oh, shit.
That's a lot.
So when I'm not,
yeah, this makes a lot more sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm,
do you have a question?
No, I'm very shocked right now.
Yeah.
Because it makes a whole lot of sense.
Well, it does when we hear people have regain. This makes sense when you hear them say
regain or you're stalling.
Yeah. Of the whole, like, they're not getting enough sleep.
So I challenge all of you out there, myself, you guys, everybody, just reevaluate your whole life, daytime and nighttime, and look at your patterns. And I challenge you to try to see if you are consistently sleeping. I mean, ideally 7 to 9 hours a night is actually ideal. But if you're at least consistently sleeping over 6 hours, do you see the scale move? I would love for you guys to put it out there and say, we're going to like do a challenge. here's our weights, and then here is how we do after doing a sleep challenge. Like we do water challenges, protein challenges, vitamin challenges. I challenge the community, myself included. Let's do a sleep challenge and see what happens.
Oh, I like that.
So a sleep challenge for September.
Yeah.
Ooh, SNS. I love it.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. I'm going to write it down.
Write that down. Yeah. And this will go out in September. That's how we know. I love it.
Oh, so Mel, you had mentioned that like sometimes like you were under a lot of stress recently with Eric being in the hospital. That was, like you said, that was like an outlier to you. But it sounded like you were also saying that because you're off your routine, he wasn't there, you're stressed out, you're just not sleeping enough. It almost seemed to impact your eating habits during the day.
Yes.
And so that's why I always, just looking at from a hospital employee and looking at the cafeteria, when you are there, there's already a lot of hospitals that their cafeteria doesn't even have, other than water, like sugar-free drink alternatives.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And if you're stressed, you're like, screw it. Like, I deserve this. I need this. I want this. Whatever, all the reasons that we already know from those things.
Yeah.
So it turns out that there is lots of research where they actually have studied people in actual like research environments where they've proven how sleep impacts their ability to resist temptation. So there's two parts of the brain that I'm going to talk about here.
Okay.
So the one part is called the amygdala. The amygdala is in the kind of the depths of the center of your brain. And it's really about your deep emotional connection. So when you are underslept, if you are less than 6 hours a night and you are now given a whole host of different types of food, green leafy vegetables, a lean chicken breast, and then some chips and some soda and some Ben and Jerry's, and you have the whole thing there. When your body, when they actually have you in an MRI scanner, and they're looking at your brain, people that they woke up after just 4 to 5 hours versus people who slept over 7 hours continuously. When you look at the MRI, the amygdala, that emotional, that I want this, I want that pleasurable, that, that like the comfort food will blow up. It will light up so much brighter than if you're well rested. Whoa. So right there, it's going to make you, no matter how much you think, it's just going to overtake that drive, that light up to get those foods that, aren't the best for you. You're going to go for the Ben and Jerry's every single time if you are not rested over the chicken breast.
Wow.
Through the MRI machines. Not only that, your prefrontal cortex that sits right here above your eyes. This part of your brain is involved in your impulse control.
Yep.
But this is the part that if you're walking in the store and you're like, I'm going to be good. I'm going to stay at the periphery of the store. I know what to do. I'm not going down that aisle. And then you're like, okay, first of all, you kind of got the glimpse of it on the sign, and then you see it. And then all of your like, you're like, just one night. And that's how this is sort of the root of a lot of it. And it is shown by just a few more hours a night how you can actually have more control as the day progresses. So that is just a really important thing to consider as well, that it's not maybe just that you don't have willpower or the strength to overcome this, that you are more is just a victim of the circumstances that you have unfortunately put yourself in because you didn't sleep enough.
I'm wondering, because I'm thinking back to like when I was within that first year and a half, when I was like rocking it. And I'm not saying I'm not rocking it now. It's in a different situation, but I was very like in tune to my journey. I could cut things out very easily. I didn't need to eat them. I didn't feel that impulse draw to the sugar and the carbs and the things that you want to give that like pleasure center. Yep. But then I can see, so I actually slept really good during that time. Yep. And then as soon as Satan left, and I stopped sleeping, that's when my impulse control was like, you need everything all the time. And then I started the night eating. I started bringing things into the house that I wouldn't have normally done. So it's really interesting that I can link it to when I slept really well versus not.
Well, and I think that's what's helped my maintaining is that you get really good sleep. I feel bad because like I'm around a lot of friends that don't get a lot of good sleep, and I really do. And I'm like, this makes sense why my maintaining's been able to happen, where I can just chill pretty much at the same level for the last 4 years now.
Yeah.
And yeah, it has to do with the fact my body at least can replenish itself. It's getting that energy. So I don't have that impulse control like problem, because I know what that feels like when I was not getting the good sleep through these last few months. My brain was like, I need cookies. I need chocolate now. Like, and it's like an overwhelming, powerful feeling of like, I need this crazy, like,
I deserve this.
Yeah, instant.
I want this. All the things you were saying are the things that flash in as my brain, at least.
Yeah.
Of like I try to find the reasons of why I deserve to have whatever it is that
when I was
craving.
like, oh, no one's going to blame me if I have cookies a couple nights a week because like X, Y, and Z is happening. So, cause that's what it would go to. And I'm like, yeah, it's totally fine. And then this last week, I even made myself a protein shake. It's in the fridge.
Good job.
I know. Like I'm getting back to me, and it's
because you're sleeping now.
Because I'm sleeping now. This last week I've gotten actual 7 to 8 hours of sleep.
That's insane.
Last night I got 8. Like legit from 11 at night till 7:30 in the morning.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Good. And I have full energy right now.
Yes, you do.
Good to go. So
I have so many things to mention based on what you both just said. Just like even putting my own personal experience into it. And that is, I was a resident. And so when you're a general surgery resident for 5 years, they say that you work 80 hours, but you work much longer. Our shifts are 30 hours. You're 30 hours on, and then you come back, then you get to leave. Like if you work 24 hours on Monday, then Tuesday you get to leave at like 12 or 1. And then you come back the next day at 5 in the morning and you start over.
Holy crap.
And so that's how it is for 5 years. I kind of blacked it out, PTSD from it. But I remember even myself, I mean, I was heavier then. I would stand in the kitchen and I would get cupcakes, and I just like the icing, and I would just eat the icing off the cupcakes, which I know I have genetics and different things, and I get it. I have not had weight loss surgery, but I'm so immersed in this. And I know that like now I am an attending. So it's like, okay, the life is better. I sleep throughout the night. I don't get interrupted much or if ever. And it's so different that the cravings and all the things. So there's an absolute reason for it. And so now, like when we're looking at the root, like you look at the mental side of things, strip down one more layer of the onion peel and kind of get to the core of maybe they all kind of like play hand in hand. Like I am not sleeping because I'm angry at my ex and all of that stress there. So you have to like kind of sort out some of that in therapy, and then that'll hopefully make you sleep better. So the chicken or the egg here. So you have to like take care of everything. And including what you eat. So it's just this like snowball impact, because if you are eating a ton of sugar, especially a big sugary load a few hours before bed. So, if you need a snack to take the edge off at night, that's okay. But if you snack within 2 hours of bed with a high sugar load, that's a tough thing. What happens is your body gets kind of like, your metabolism, if you will, or whatever, it's like revved up in terms of, okay, there's a lot of sugar. So my body has to now release insulin to get rid of the sugar. And so like your body's like going. And what that does is that increases your body temperature. So you're hot, you're sweating, and then you wake up early, prematurely. So Kelly, if you go to bed, let's say at 10 p.m., but then you're already up at midnight, maybe at 9 p.m., you ate something that was higher in sugar. And then all of a sudden it's like, if you like drink alcohol, you'll like pass out or you'll fall asleep, but then you'll wake up at like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. because you're so hot. And it's always like, well, am I dehydrated? Do I need fluids? But in this case, the sugar can make your body like function like this, like revved up engine.
Yeah.
And then it's going to get so hot, so overheated almost, that it's going to wake you up from restful sleep. And you're not going to get as deep sleep either if you have sugar intake on board.
Does that count? Do carbs count in that type of, because I know that carbs can turn into sugar in your system.
Right. So it depends on there's some carbs are better than other carbs.
Yeah.
And so I think it depends. Like if it's like of course, like high fructose corn syrup with the sugar and the high carb content as well. That's different than if it's like fruits and vegetables that have some carbs. I think it looks at like the whole concept of net carbs.
Okay.
And, remember, just to remind everybody out there how you calculate that. To lose weight, you want to keep your total net carbs less than 50 net carbs per day. Okay. And that's challenging because everything has a total amount of carbs. And then if you subtract out the sugar alcohols and then subtract out the fiber is what's so good in the vegetables and the fruit. And if you subtract those things out, that's going to give you your total net carbs. And so like some of these protein bars out there, like we'll say Questus as an easy example for math. It might look like there's 25 carbs in it, but when you subtract all those things, there's only like 5 net carbs. So to lose weight, you want to keep your net carbs less than 50 grams. And if you want to maintain your weight, keep it about 100 grams a day. And if you want to gain weight, go over about 120 grams a day.
Wow.
Okay. So that's the big thing that you want to look at. So looking at starches, the quality of the carbs you're consuming, and especially the added sugar. The added sugar, it just perpetuates the cycle. And that's the hardest thing there.
So if you're going to have something sweet, you're wanting something sweet, have it in the middle of the day versus at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. You want to avoid something with a high sugar load 2 to 3 hours before bed. 2 to 3 hours before bed is the max time. Now, there's no studies that I have seen that exist that tell you not to eat past 5 p.m. or like you'll hear like a lot of people I only eat from this hour to this hour. It's sort of like that intermittent fasting kind of a philosophy. I don't think there's any magic there, except if you're revving your body up with too much sugar. Sugar is the hardest thing to digest with this whole insulin thing and all of that. You're doing too much of that before bed, then it can impact your sleep, which it impacts your sleep. It makes you want more of the sugar the next day. And then of course at night when we're tired, we make these decisions. So you have to break insanity. If you're going to do it early in the day. And hopefully by doing these things, you'll break the cycle and you won't really even want the sugar even in the middle of the day.
Okay.
I was going to say, because I always just want it at night. I never even want it in the middle of the day.
I want it all the time.
Yeah, mine's before bed. That's my catalyst.
Another thing about that is sometimes you are legit just tired and then your body's like, I'm hungry. If you only, and I get it, it's like inertia. Like I'm watching the Ultimatum on Netflix and I saw myself last night. I'm like, why are you sitting here still? It's like inertia. Like I can't get up. I can't get moving.
Yeah.
And if I have something next to me, I'm just going to keep doing it. So like, setting yourself up for success, like not having it in your house. But then at 9 p.m., there's been times where it's like, Aaron, that's my husband, would you go out and get me whatever? And I mean, we all do it. You're like, Eric, I know you just had all those issues. Do you want to get ice cream tonight? Yeah, let's do it. It's fun.
Yep.
I'll numbers and we're going to do it together.
I'll Uber Eats that shit. And I was like, it's coming to our house. This is great.
Yeah, Uber Eats.
That's a great still.
It's not a horrible example, but yes, it's a tough thing. It's so tough.
It is.
Now, okay, so switching gears back to what Kelly had just mentioned about the way you were different after surgery versus now it's a little bit harder. It's essentially that you're still doing great, but that honeymoon, this was like, we were so in love. I love my sleep. This was so easy. Now we're having a couple fights and I got to work at this. I did not have to work at this before. So there's actually a reason for that as well. And there's a reason, sleep and your hormones and all of these things. So we talk a lot about the hunger hormones, the appetite kind of influencing hormones. So one big one that maybe a lot of our viewers know about is ghrelin.
Okay. Yeah.
Ghrelin is the hunger hormone. So it tells you that you are hungry, that you need to eat more. It tells your brain, even though you're have physical signs of fullness, you're sneezing, your nose is running, I am done. It keeps telling your brain that you're not done. And it leads to excessive overeating. Okay. So with ghrelin, with the sleeve, for example, after the surgery, when you remove the portion of the stomach, when the stomach goes from a football size to a garden hose size, with the sleeve, you remove 80% of that stomach. The portion of the stomach that is removed is the part that is largely producing that hormone called ghrelin. It's actually made in the gut, impacts the brain. Now, if you don't get enough sleep, after surgery, those levels go down. But if you don't have enough sleep, all that great stuff from the metabolic changes and the hormonal changes from the surgery, bloop, it actually is reversed.
Oh.
It means that your ghrelin levels are back up to almost pre-surgery level if you're sleeping less than 6 hours a night.
Oh, shit, Kelly.
I
know,
Melanie.
Oh, no.
I know.
We're using full names, everybody. I hope that you guys are all tuning in. We are using our full names.
Oh,
I almost used your full name.
I know you did. You almost went to my maiden name.
Yes.
Yes, I saw it in your face.
Oh, man.
Well, that's just like, it's good to know because like that's a huge problem.
That is.
Like sleep is a huge problem across the world. So it's like, guys, we can use our tool better if we can get more sleep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great way of putting it. And there's more. There's another hormone that we don't. I'm sorry. There's another hormone that's in there. So ghrelin is the one we kind of all know and talk about.
Mm-hmm.
But this was actually a question on. I took the American Board of Obesity Medicine. So I studied about medications for weight loss and the medical side of things.
Mm-hmm.
This was a question. If you're out there, you're thinking about taking your A-bomb, I'm going to give you one here for free here. It's about the other hormone you might have heard about called leptin.
Mm-hmm.
Leptin also works kind of like it's indirect like relationship to the ghrelin. So in other words, if your leptin comes out to play, that's great because that means that you are satisfied. It's the satiety hormone that you are full and you are done.
Okay.
When you don't sleep, guess what? Leptin plummets. So you know how a lot of us, there'll be times where you're like, my God, I can eat a whole pizza and I eat the whole thing or a huge amount of volume of food. And afterwards you're like, I don't feel satisfied. Mm-hmm. There is a huge host of research that shows that patients or people who suffer with obesity are at a much, much, much lower to non-existent level of leptin. Okay. And they feel that the miracle drug, if you will, or where to really target is around helping to increase leptin's impact on your body. So a lot of the medications will replicate leptin so that you will feel full. Mm. Like, have you ever felt a time either before, I would assume more, or even after surgery, where you felt like you were a bottomless well and there was nothing, no amount that you could eat that would satisfy you?
Yeah, 100%.
Yep. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It was more after. No, I would say there was a few times before the divorce, and I'm using that as like my catalyst of like before when I was good sleep wise and then after. But there was a couple times before the divorce where it was like I can see a clear like unsatisfied feeling throughout the whole, because it's not a secret, I've regained. Like I definitely have. And I contribute a lot of that is I never feel fully satisfied, but I also don't sleep at all. Like I was explaining in the beginning when you asked, like I go 3 days without sleep and then I get a crash of 7 hours.
Yeah.
So for every 4 days, I'm getting enough sleep for like 2.
It's ridiculous.
And it's not all consistent. So even on the nights that I get 4 or 5 hours of sleep, it's like 2 hours I wake up, 2 hours I wake up. And so it's split up.
So is there a way to get leptin in your body if you can't produce?
That's what I'm wondering.
No, I don't think it's so simple as that. There's a lot of drugs that a lot of them are actually like some of these injectable ones that we've talked about before. A lot of they're called like GLP-1 agonists. The thing that they're doing is they're replicating a lot of the great impact of the way the body handles sugar and the way it stores and the way insulin comes out, and it improves your insulin sensitivity. And that's like a whole thing in and of itself. So, I think that you can have leptin. I think there's like, there are leptin deficiencies, so I think you can get it, but I don't think that would be something unless you have like a genetic mutation in the amount that you do. And I don't, maybe there is a medication I'm not thinking of. And if any of my colleagues are out there watching, that might say it, but that's what you want. You want leptin to be functioning properly at the proper amount of levels so that when you're done and you don't eat to excess. And that's also hard. So you have like multiple factors playing around you. You have, again, just the brain's chemistry, the hormonal, the metabolism, the way that you're taking in the sugar. So it's going to take a few days, weeks to really like, how do you develop a good sleep hygiene?
Yeah.
And other things, I think that, again, this chicken or the egg phenomenon, I tell all of my patients, so if you're watching, you've heard my spiel, I tell them every time that when they come the day of surgery, I'm always like, how are you? Are you excited? Are you nervous? How did you sleep last night? And most people will, with all due respect, like most normal people will be like, I slept for grab last night because I was so anxious. I was like weird. I had weird dreams, like when I don't want to miss my alarm going off. I had like a weird thing that I missed it, like all kinds of weird stuff. So then that means they didn't sleep the night before. Yeah. I do surgery on them. Then the night of their surgery, you're sore. You're like, oh my gosh, like I'm nauseous, I'm sore, I feel weird, I'm up and down. So now this is 2 straight days that you haven't slept. So what does that equate to? It equates to being kind of a weepy emotional mess. Like, I'm a loser. Why did I have to do this? And I do think that sometimes that lack of sleep, even that just those couple of days, will actually make your early recovery more difficult. Okay. Because you end up you're kind of under the 8 ball there of not having fuel in your tank from an energy standpoint. And I think it takes you like a whole month of like going through these like deep emotions. And some people always feel like they have panic attacks. They feel very depressed. They feel like their self-worth is in the gutter because they had to do this and everybody else doesn't, and why them, and all of that nasty self-talk that's going on. I believe, this is my anecdotal thoughts, that it is because you're emotional, because you are exhausted, and it's critical to your early recovery as well.
Wow. Well, that makes complete sense, because like sleep, I've been preaching sleep for a long, long time. And I've noticed that like when people around me get sleep, like one, their mood's better. And then we always seem to like make better choices when it comes to food too. Like they really do go hand in hand. And in the hospital, like they were trying to teach Eric like a good sleep routine. Like that was like, it was called sleep hygiene in there. And that's the deal. Like actually 2 nights ago, he tried to stay up even past midnight. And I go, nope, you're ruining your sleep hygiene. Stop it, sir. Turn off this damn TV. I don't want it glowing on my face. And so he did. And he turned it off and he like watched something on his phone and then he fell asleep. And it was like, yeah, we can't be up to late hours. Like we have to, like, especially for healing and like right after surgery, you need that sleep for healing. Yeah. Like I learned so much about sleeping in that hospital with him, because like that was promoting his wound care, and what it was getting him to heal was high protein and lots of sleep. It's so important.
Yes. And I think for autoimmune diseases, we're actually supposed to get more sleep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't get enough sleep for a normal person, much less one that has 3 autoimmune diseases. Yeah. So
yes.
I know that you have looked into it, and again, I'm not a sleep specialist or really can give advice, but there are sleep centers that it's not just sleep apnea that they treat. There's other sleep disorders that I would urge you to do a thorough thing. I know you probably have done a lot. And I do think that some of these Ambients and some of these medications that you try, the melatonins, which is, the more natural way, over the counter and all that sort of stuff. Boy, those are tough ones to go for. Some of them are very addictive because then you just cannot simply sleep without them. And that's a tough road to go down as well. So if you can somehow, as we call it, develop a good sleep hygiene, some good, and you'll read about, I'm sure you could tell me every WebMD article that exists on this subject about making sure there's not the light from your phone or the TV, as Mel just said, or making sure that you just bed is for sleeping and you go to bed, like all of these things. The room's cool enough, the room's dark enough, your energy is good, you're zen enough, you're meditating. Try it, try everything you can, but you've got to invest in the solution to that problem, because I think that, you're putting it out there. You felt like you've regained a couple of pounds. And if you want to get them off, you are working on it. You live and breathe all of this. Yes. And I just think efforts are being voided out. And that is, I think that's where you should devote your energy, so that you are more energized and not using your lean muscle to do it.
Yeah, because I feel like, I'm not eating horribly. It's been a couple months of me really being focused more on protein and really trying to like be very present in my journey. And I've been, in and out of the gym for the most part, but like it's been pretty consistent more than any other time. Yeah. I have not lost a pound.
Nope.
Not 1 pound. And I'm listening to you talk about it is like, oh, well, that's why.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And I take, you're going to judge me, but I take melatonin and Tylenol PM every single night and I still don't sleep.
I'm not judging you. I understand you're desperate. I mean, you are desperate, and it's impacting everything. And it also impacts like your stress, your cortisol's up. When your cortisol's up, you can't sleep. So, I mean, to go back to the beginning, it's like, just to be honest with yourselves about like, you guys are doing some ambitious things. You are putting yourselves out there. You are not afraid to fail. You lean on each other to help. And like, not that this is a therapy session, but if you think about all that you have going on in this very public facing environment that you have created around yourself, I think it's impacting potentially your sleep and your health ultimately because of it. And I think, I mean, from my standpoint, you guys are just winning so much. And I think that, all that you're doing is just so awesome, being boss babes and like all of it. But I mean, I tell myself this, like I'm preaching the crowd. I think a lot of our listeners, I think a lot of the people who do pursue bariatric surgery are type A's.
Yeah.
Like I have noticed that it's typically women of a certain demographic who are, they succeed in every other aspect of their lives, that they have these amazing high-powered jobs and these careers and these families and responsibilities. And I'm going to put on an award show for the entire international community, and I'm going to have sponsors, and I'm going to get people to buy into my vision that I came up with on a napkin that I'm actually making and putting into action. So many amazing things here. But sometimes it's like, I got to go like pause, and you got to go pause and say, how is this how is this working for me for my whole life? Like that work-life balance and my work-life health balance. And so I don't know. How do you guys feel about that?
I think you're accurate.
I think you're 100% accurate.
Because of the stress levels. They fluctuate every day. And that has to play a role in our sleep.
Yes.
Because like you said, the cortisol is a huge factor for sleep. And that's due to stress. So depending on how, like if you have a good coping mechanism of how to deal with your stress, then it's fine. But like, we don't have the greatest ones in the place right now.
No,
and we'll be very honest about it. And it's fine because of like, I've gone through some crazy trauma right now that I've never been through in my life. And I'm having feelings and anxieties that I never thought I would have. So I understand it, but we have to figure out a coping mechanism because we are in such a stressful level at all times. Yeah.
Well, and it's like, I'm going through, moving in with a person that,
your
my
boyfriend.
And I, as excited as I am about moving, the whole process was very stressful because of all of like
the back end stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And my family sucks. So, that's just what it is. And so that's caused me a lot of stress. And like, even last night I woke up and I was like, Zach wakes up at 2:30 every morning to go to work. And he's like, why aren't you sleeping? And I was like, I can't sleep. I've been awake since midnight. And he's like, well, what, are you worried? And I was like, yeah, about everything and nothing I can do to solve at 2:30 in the morning.
Nope.
Like I can't fix any of it. And I know that, but I'm still awake and like stressing about like, I'm putting things in categories.
Yeah.
So I definitely feel like I need to have like some type of routine that I do just for bedtime.
Yeah.
And then I do that. And then once that happens, it's time to go to bed.
It's like a grounding routine for nighttime.
It is.
Yeah.
Yes. And I want to try the brown noise.
Yeah. I've tried the brown noise. So if people don't know, Dr. Dovec, do you know what brown noise is?
I know white noise. I don't know brown noise.
Right? So like
apparently there's pink noise too.
Yeah, because I used to do white noise at nighttime, just a fan to help me sleep. Because as a kid, I grew up with a fan in my room, and then as an adult, when I didn't have a fan, I was like, "This feels weird. I need something."
That's so cute.
Yeah, so I had found an app on my phone and was doing white noise. But then Kelly's therapist said, for ADHD people, you should do brown noise because it helps settle you. And Eric and Kelly are a lot alike. It's kind of creepy sometimes.
It's really weird.
And I was like, he's having trouble sleeping. So I was like, I'm put putting this brown noise on, and it is a deeper noise, but it works because ever since I've done that, that's where we're both sleeping longer.
Yeah. And I've heard it a couple times on like reels on Instagram, and they say that if you feel instantly relaxed by listening to it, it's like an ADHD thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like
anxiety.
It just calms you. Mm-hmm. And so I need to incorporate that.
Yeah, I already paid for it, $9.99 for the year.
Yes.
And done deal, because sleep is that important to me. Yes. I'm all about preventative care. Ever since surgery, I'm all about how do we prevent all of the things.
Yes.
And sleep has been one of them, because Dr. Patterson also was a very advocate about sleep. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, okay, let's do this. Mm-hmm. And I don't care what app I have to use if I have to, but I will. I just
need to figure out my sleeping.
You do.
And this just proves it, because mm-hmm. there's so much of research behind it showing how important sleep is to bariatric surgery.
Yeah.
And, listening to you talk, it was like, I'm doing everything you're saying is like patterned out because I'm not getting sleep.
Yeah.
And it shows, because before, when I considered myself successful, I know what I just said. And I could see like I was getting good sleep. So I was making good choices during the day, and I was actively losing the weight that I wanted to. And then when I was wanting to maintain, I maintained, because at the end of the day, I was getting the deep sleep that I needed for my body. Mm-hmm. When I'm not getting the deep sleep is when the bad choices started slipping in, mm-hmm. and the impulse control was letting go, and all of those things. Mm-hmm. So it's really cool that there's so much research behind it.
Oh yeah. The bottom line, friends, all of us, we're doing the September sleep challenge.
Yes.
We are going to get more sleep. It's just another one of the pillars. We're just going to dedicate our time, our energy, our focus to finding solutions that work with us. I think just like your weight loss journey, this sleep journey is going to be an individual one. Mm-hmm. That the brown noise might not work for you. You might be a pink gal, whatever it is. Like, you've got to figure it out. And there's lots of resources out there that exist. And then if you really need to see the specialists, again, in this whole field, to do more intensive, maybe even in-person sleep labs, mm-hmm. Testing, where they can really monitor what's going on. Just like if you have health insurance, or if you gotta, this is a major thing. And for you to have such a sleep deficiency, I think there's just no way that you're operating to where you could or should be. And I do think the stress, the anxiety, the gut wrenching, all of it. I know we all have anxiety, and it's just a lot. Think about anxiety makes me feel anxious right now. I don't know why. I'm just very calm, but just like thinking about it, we're all like, it rise up so
You're
tight.
Like, yeah, it's
a horrible feeling. It's a gut wrenching feeling, and no, we gotta like dedicate the work. We gotta put the work in here too. Mm-hmm. No more work to do, but that's what we're on this lifelong.
Well, we owe it to ourselves.
We do. We did this surgery. We did all this post-op stuff. Like, mm-hmm. at least we can do is take care of our sleep. Like, I wanted to say, like, I know, because I've heard it from Kelly before, is like, it's uncomfortable. I don't want to do a sleep study. I don't want to go in, blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to say blah, blah, blah to you guys, because like, if you could just be uncomfortable for 1 to 2 nights, wouldn't you rather sleep the best for the rest of your life? Like, you can be uncomfortable for 2 days. Like, it's fine.
Thank you for attacking me.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome. I want you to have better sleep.
Yes. Because I deserve to have good sleep.
You do.
For my system, mm-hmm. and my journey, and making sure that I am on point with where I want to be.
Yeah.
Because where I am right now is not where I want to be. Mm-mm. So to get to where I want to be, I have to get better sleep.
Well, and you hear it with like musicians and actors and stuff. Like, they put hard lines with their family, and like, mm-hmm. I have to go to bed, guys. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Like, this is just what it is. Yep. And if you want to be successful, you have to get that sleep.
Yes.
You just can't.
Well, and I think it's also a learning process, because like, we're learning every day about what we're doing and what we can bring to this community, and we're brainstorming and recording and doing all of these things.
Yeah.
But we're learning that like, it's this hour to this hour, and then we're done. Because if not, we will continue to do things
all day long,
all night long, and work until
Hours in.
I mean, I was working at 3:30 this morning.
Yeah, because you couldn't sleep.
Because I couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
So it's like, we really need to focus on what are the hours that you're actually working. Because if you're working in an office, you're going to work 9 to 5 for most people, and then you're done. You don't most of the time, you don't bring that office home with you.
Right.
But when you're a creator or a podcast singer, whatever it is, it's really hard not to bring
that with
your
you.
work,
so you have to put like
it's with you all the
structure.
time.
You have to structure yourself.
Yeah. So I think we need to do the sleep challenge, figure out how much we're sleeping.
Yep.
And then also put more structure into our lives.
I love it.
I have 3 book recommendations based on what you said.
Yay.
The first one is called Do Nothing.
Okay.
Do nothing is sort of like what you were just saying, Kel, about like protecting your time and having enough time for work and for play and for sleep and for rest and recovery and enjoyment and all of the big ideas that come to you when that happens. That's called Do Nothing. Another one is The Sleep Revolution. Actually, Stephanie Risto gave that to me as a gift, which I thought was just so cool. I read the whole thing. Nice. And it also talks about another layer that we didn't really even get into. In addition to all of these health benefits, it does definitely touch on all of that. It also talks a lot about the power of your dreams and how some of the greatest discoveries and advancements in modern science and research and all of that sort of thing came out of a dream that somebody remembered. There's lots of things like Edison used to hold a ball in his hand so that when he would like jerk and go into REM, he would wake up and he'd have a pen and he would quickly write it down, or people will dictate it. And they like trying to remember your dreams. There's a lot of significance. You're not going to dream if you're not sleeping long enough. You're not going to get deep enough, REM enough. So you're not going to be able, Kelly, for example, to be as creative and as successful as you could be from even a mental capacity standpoint in that regard. And then finally, the last book that I read, which I think is so great about habit change, is by Gretchen Rubin. And it's something with the word habit in it. And it's about like, she describes even like she just started to brush her teeth before bed or after dinner, and that way she had to like make a conscious decision, like I'm gonna have to brush and floss my teeth again if I decide to eat this handful of chocolate chips. And so I wear like retainers. Yes, I'm a dork. I used to have Invisalign and I don't want to ruin all this. And then I grind my teeth, so I'll put like my retainers in earlier so that it's like I got to pop these bad boys out, like stuff like that. So that was like a lot of power of how, like the how to, like we're all saying we want to do it. We're like, I read recently, like that we're just all superior planners. We're superior at identifying the problem, but we're inferior doers, and that we just don't put these ideas into action. Yeah. So that's why it is so like applaudable about this whole thing that you're doing with the award show and getting all that. That is insane. So just imagine if you're sleeping. Holy crap. The world's going to be taken over by Kelly and Mal. Stay tuned.
It's been the goal.
We get these 7 hours every night.
Right?
Yes. Once we fix my sleep, and I mean, we'll just take over the world.
We'll just have a rocket that says Mel and Kel, our sleep life. We go into space.
No,
and
private jet.
Help everybody out there too.
Private jet. Private jet. And we can fly all over.
Did you just say, did you just say what I think? You said our sleep life podcast? Did I just hear that?
Oh, look at that. Look at that. I love the puns.
Oh my gosh,
the puns.
I love it.
So
That's
good.
so
That should
awesome.
be our advertisement for this session. I hope that I hope everybody enjoyed this, and I hope that it gave you a lot of thought. I can't wait to get the feedback. I love your Benchies. I get to operate on some of your Benchies.
I know.
Yes.
Oh
my gosh, thank you guys so much. It's such a cool thing that by us just having these casual chats, I forget other people are going to be watching and listening to us just chat amongst us gals. And so it's very, very cool. So I thank you for connecting us together and for giving us this platform, this voice to share this information. And I truly hope that it is beneficial for everyone out there watching.
Yeah, I know that we found it very beneficial because I can tell just by like us looking at each other like, oh,
this makes a lot of sense.
That makes sense.
And we just have to be honest with ourselves, especially when the sleep challenge comes, and just write in how many hours you actually got.
Yes.
And then try to work on it getting better. And I bet the stalls will go away and more creativity and all the jams.
Yes, exactly. Thank you so much, Dr. Dovec, for being on again. And we're blessed that you could come on and teach us more about our sleep with bariatrics.
Yes.
So thank you.
Awesome, ladies. Thank you guys.
Thank
and we'll see
you.
you next time.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. We love you.
you.
And we will see you next time.